Quiet, please. Thank you. Play. Love. Love. No! 40-15.
And Jim Courier serving in this opening game. Bryan Shelton actually won the toss, elected to receive. Courier just served a double fault, unusual for him. He doesn't serve many, but it's 40-15 and just about to wrap up this first game.
Game Courier. First game. Second serve.
Just the sort of chance that this young fellow will be looking for, playing the world number 3.
Love 15.
A chance because they've never met before, these two.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is really, because Bryan's been around a while. Honed his skills in the American collegiate system. Georgia Tech, an All-American there.
Yes, and looking ahead to a future after tennis, has a degree in industrial engineering from Georgia Tech.
So here's the service action. And he moves in well behind it. A lovely punch volley there. Good footwork to get under the falling ball quickly to make the angle for his smash. By today's standards, not the tallest of men, 6'1". Used to be thought quite tall, 6'1", 185, yes. But not now.
(30-15).
Courier, I suspect, smarting from the fact that the seeding committee here didn't choose to ignore the ATP Tour rankings and put him at number 2 as the defending champion, which they could have done, ahead of Michael Stick, who is on the computer at 2.
(40-15).
I think Courier is going to try and prove something this year, because he lost that world #1 ranking to Sampras in the course of the year, then was overtaken by Stick. And he wants to reverse that ranking slide. That's where we need tell for those close ones. I have to agree that the ball appeared to be in.
.40-30.
Trying to contain his irritation.
Fault. Game Shelton.
Gary did well there after that disappointment of the call.
1 game on.
Yes, it's too easy for a lot of players to allow that sort of thing to get under their skin and throw away the next thing they're down break point. And against a player like Courier, you can't afford to put yourself in that position. Smart thinking on Shelton's part.
Kept his cool beautifully, didn't he?
$15 love.
He can hit over the ball or with slice on that single-handed backhand. Lost last year in the first round here, did Shelton. To the qualifier, Byron Black.
Actually, it's the 4th time he's played the Australian Open, Bryan Shelton, and 2nd round as his best ever result so far. Oh, great return.
15 on.
And spotting that the serve was just short enough to give him time to move in behind his return, which he took nice and early. Two-hander that time.
$15-30.
Double fault in each of his service games so far.
$30 all.
Good serve, not an awful lot of pace on it, but good direction from Courier. Gee.
30-40.
Now, what was all that about?
I don't know. You asked for something to be turned off, and I'm not sure.
Up in the boxes, if you could turn the TV down some to my right up here.
Ah, he's hearing the...
Okay. He's hearing us.
Could well be.
Sorry, Jim.
Deuce.
Yes. Well, gee. Missed by a fraction, and Shelton won't argue.
Have another look at this. I would have loved a tell decision on that one.
Advantage Courier.
God, he's having bad luck on these lines.
Turn off your television.
Yeah, that's Courier. The problem here is that in the corporate boxes on the upper level of the centre court stadium, they all have a split, of course, of our Channel 7 coverage, and a lot of them keep the front windows open, as you can see, and don't turn down the commentary to an acceptable level. And it can be heard very, very clearly down on the... it's amazing, with all of the people in the stands, even when it's a full house, how much the noise from up on that top level carries down onto the centre court. It's possible it's coming from a box that's unoccupied at the moment.
Thank you. Quiet, please.
Ah, well, we just had some further information that may clarify the mystery. It's not coming from one of the corporate boxes. It's leaking through the house speakers up inside the roof.
Deuce.
So our corporate friends are blameless in this matter. And there is a huge bank of speakers right above Courier's head. I mean, an enormous bank of speakers. So if there's the slightest leak there, he'd hear it. There they are.
Advantage Shelton.
It's a long game, this, and just that distraction for Courier, maybe throwing him off a touch. He served a couple of double faults in this game.
Interesting that the ATP is looking at making this game more entertaining. One of the things they're suggesting is that the spectators should be allowed to cheer and shout even while the rallies are on, while the player's serving.
Some places they already do.
Deuce.
I mean, if you're on the wrong end of a Davis Cup tie in Italy, there's no peace and quiet during the point.
How true. 'Twas ever thus. But we have become accustomed to the sepulchral calm around a tennis court, and I'm not sure that the players don't need to get used to a little bit of noise.
That brings up a break
Advantage
point
Shelton.
against Jim Courier.
Well, this is a lovely volley there. It had to be that accurate, and the defensive volley, the defensive lob rather, just too short.
Deuce.
That was a crunch volley for Bryan Shelton if he'd made that.
got to take these chances. Courier is only going to get better.
Advantage Courier.
Yes, he is, and I don't think Stefan Edberg, among other people, want to hear that.
I don't think any of the 127 people in the draw besides Courier want to hear that, because his best has been good enough for 2 years.
Again, Courier.
Holds serve and leads by 2 games to 1. Courier's bread and butter, that half-court forehand.
30-15.
It's the aggressive return of serve here that does the damage. That purely a defensive half volley. And Courier having the choice there, going either way.
All.
Having to get over the disappointment of not converting any of those 3 chances to break. So this is a very important service game for him. He knows he could actually be leading at the moment.
(30-40).
30 love to 30-40.
Oh, just missed. Just missed.
Courier just trying to play himself in here. Against a man he hasn't played before, remember. Though he'll have watched him play.
That's straight down the middle.
Advantage,
Good
Shelton.
ace. Didn't deviate from the moment he struck the ball. Perfect.
Deuce.
Yes, that's the damage he can do with this heavy top. Because this was a beautiful half volley to within, what, a foot or so of the baseline? And yet, the pass was a winner from the moment he struck it.
First serve. Advantage Courier.
Second double fault for Bryan Shelton. Third, rather. 3 for him and 3 for Courier. Puts him in a predicament, though. Another break point down. He's playing well, Shelton. Take nothing away from him. I know he's struggling on serve here, but and couldn't get the breakthrough against Courier in the previous game, but plays smart tennis.
And that little anxious look skywards, just a reminder that that's the tough end to serve from at this time of day.
Advantage Courier.
So a third chance for Courier.
Deuce.
Yes, not yet happy with the rhythm on his serve. It's all about rhythm, serving. Once you get into the right sort of rhythm, you can start to develop the confidence.
Boy, well, he made a mess of that because it was a good second serve. The return from Courier sat the ball up for him to put it away with a big forehand. Maybe it was too big. That was the problem. Just loomed too large. Break point again for Courier.
Deuce.
Discovering, as all Shelton's opponents do, that the second serve is hit very hard, and that was as good a second serve as you'll ever want to see. Which is why, of course, he does serve a few doubles.
Advantage
Just missed.
Shelton.
Two long games, one after the other. 4 deuces in the previous one, 5 now in this one. There have been.
Again, Shelton.
That's a big effort to hang on, survive 4 break points and hold serve against the world's #3 player.
2 games on.
2-all, and out on court 6, the former champ Mats Wilander making a comeback and doing it quite well in his opening round match there against Milan Velev of Bulgaria. Wilander took the first set by 6 games to 1, 1 game all in the second set. Of course, Mats won the first Australian Open played here at Flinders Park, 1988. Back on centre, Jim Courier serving.
Love 15.
Took 10 minutes to play that last game, so add that to the one before. Project that ahead over a best of 5 sets. We could be here for a while if Bryan Shelton can maintain the level of play that he's displayed so far.
Oh,
Something else to aggravate Courier. Pinpoint.
15 on.
Yeah, Bryan has a close look and agrees. He was beaten by a better ball.
yes, it's the topspin that does it. Dipping it onto the line.
(30-15).
Here with his coach, as usual, Brad Stein.
The travelling coach.
Yes, Jose Higueras is also part of that team. Former Spanish #1.
Done a pretty good job between them.
Certainly have.
Just missed, and we remain on serve with Courier leading by 3 games to 2.
15 all.
Fault.
Thirty 15. Forty 15. For serve. Game Shelton. 3 games off.
First ace for him for the match. Bryan Shelton has served 3, held his serve quite comfortably in the previous game, Shelton, after that long struggle that each of them had in the previous service games.
Awfully difficult to pick that lob for a man going in. And it was a good length approach too.
Low.
Oh, great volleys by Bryan Shelton. I think Courier was shocked to see those come back,
40-15.
because they were meant to stay hit.
Yes, lovely instinctive reaction. Well, you were with Courier last week in Adelaide. I saw him just before I left, looking at the stats for a moment first. 79% of the first serves that have gone in have been winning points. 91 for Shelton, though he's got in less than half. If he could just lift that first serve in percentage, that would make a huge difference. Gary, I was going to say, when I spoke to him just before I left Adelaide, before the Rio started, he seemed to be in a very determined mood, but all very quiet.
Yes, less outgoing. We see this point in replay, and again, very effective volleys from Bryan Shelton. Less communicative, I think, than we've first known him in the past. He's very withdrawn, keeping very much to himself, very purposeful.
Because I think it was important in his own mind to win that Rio, which of course he did, because he'd won twice there before and then gone on to win here twice. He's a bit superstitious, you know.
Yes, I think so. And I think he places, you know, great store in going back and doing it the same way, because that was the winning way last year, it was the winning way the year before, and he believes it can be the winning way again.
Perhaps you'll have to dive in the cam again, in the Yarra rather.
Won't do him any harm, as long as he keeps taking the pills. Oh, bad luck. Another tough game. Courier holds serve 4-3 first set.
Hasn't really got the range yet on the Shelton serve. He's always prepared to risk a lot on that second delivery. I think it was going to drop out anyway.
30-12.
Just making sure, watching his court movement here is excellent. I think he won the point twice, never mind. That's the penalty he pays for going for those big second serves. 4 double faults now.
40-15.
Still keeping Courier guessing from our low-angle camera. That return of serve, no more than a prod, and far too high. So although he's only getting, or was only getting, just about 40% of his serves in, Courier still doesn't quite read them yet.
(40-30).
Oh, beauty.
Shelton. Four games all.
4 aces, 5 double faults for Shelton. Mixing it up in that game, certainly, but holding his own with Jim Courier at the moment.
For serve. Love 15.
After a great start to last year, I think the moment when the turning point came was that loss in the final of the French Championships to Bruguera. I think that really set Courier back more than somewhat.
Out.
15.
Yes, well, whatever it was, we see service action again for Jim Courier.
Extreme grip there on the forehand, like a bludgeon.
Ball.
(15-30).
4th double fault. Yeah, whatever it was took the steam out of Jim Courier last year. It certainly did knock him for 6, because his results fell away badly the second part of the year, latter part of the year. And his general approach, his frame of mind, has not been the same since.
I think what it was, he was the hard man up to that moment in the French Championship final. He'd won 2 titles there, he'd won 2 here in Australia, back to back. And he was the man who, when the going went tough, got tougher and tougher himself. And somehow he failed to do it in that final. He was on self-destruct, charging into the net, of all things.
Break point against him now.
40.
Then he got, of course, to the final at Wimbledon, unexpectedly on the grass, and I think might have won it if he'd won that 4th set against a tiring Sampras, but he didn't. And so, again, he'd lost on an important occasion. And I think it's affected his whole outlook.
Deuce.
Well saved. Yes, I guess it all adds up. He'd won here in Australia. He'd been in the finals, the French finals at Wimbledon. Still toppled, though, of course, from the #1 position, as we see it again. And when they stay hit like this, when Courier gets to them. And then, as John Barrett said, coming in here where he might rightly, as the defending champion, have expected to be seated certainly at #2, not #1, but 2. He's been seated 3. The committee here electing to go with the ATP rankings strictly.
Advantage Courier.
Rushed it, yes, there was a half chance there. His real chance came, though, in game 3. Those 3 break points he squandered when Courier was still much shakier than he now is. Oh, and on a second serve. It's his second foot fault. Well, have a look for yourself. There it is, the front foot just touching the line.
Second chance now for Shelton. He'll want to make the most of this one.
This is a beautifully played point. The blocked return of serve, landing nice and deep, and a very clever little chip.
Deuce.
A real glare there at the person on the line who'd called the foot fault on a second serve. It reminds me of John McEnroe when he went across and eyeballed a lady linesman. No doubt at all about what he's thinking. He's trying to hold his feelings in check.
Advantage Shelton.
This is the 6th break point Shelton has had in the set.
Well, the net and the football judge conspiring against Jim Courier. And Bryan Shelton stuns the defending champion. He gets the break of serve at last. He leads 5-4, first set.
Well, this is terrific because the serving of Shelton has been so effective today. Courier simply hasn't been able to reply with anything like his usual venom. 93% of the time the serve goes in, he wins the point, the first serve.
Yes, if only he were getting it in about 65% of the time, he'd be well on his way to a big upset here.
Courier asking for that ball. He's now going to try and suggest that the ball is soft or something.
Replay the point.
Oh, interesting.
First serve, quiet please.
Keeping mighty calm again, as he did when his serve was threatened in game 4.
A lot to like about Bryan Shelton's temperament.
Certainly is.
A very patient man. That's why he's a good fisherman. In his spare time. Not that he gets too much, I guess.
Oh, he's missed it.
40 love.
Well, that's an extraordinary miss. It really is. That's the sort of situation on which he used to thrive. For the last couple of years, he's been absolutely deadly with that easy half-court ball.
Quiet please.
Well, what a situation. 3 set points.
First serve.
And the law of averages says that if he gets the first serve in, he'll win this point.
And when he doesn't, he gets badly punished.
Yes, Courier at last reads one correctly.
That's all it took. And Bryan Shelton has the first set.
6 games to 4.
And getting a great reception from this very enthusiastic opening day crowd here at Flinders Park.
Only goes to prove what all the seeded players will tell you, that the first round is the one they most want to win.
Well, if they don't, they're not going to win another one.
Out!
15 love.
He's generally kept a very good length on those approaches.
15-30.
Courier bouncing on his toes, just trying to rev himself up a little bit, knowing that he's got a bit of a fight on his hands.
All.
Remembering that he's 99th in the world on the computer, we have a vivid illustration of the depth in strength in men's tennis.
Oh, what a point. What a point.
Well, Courier's on his toes for this one, has to be. And that little lob. In he goes, lunging for the volley. Where will this one come? Right at me, all right, I'm ready for that. And now that little angled one.
It was a half volley pick-up that kept him in the point, though, wasn't it? That was brilliant.
Deuce.
Courier making a very deliberate effort here to slow things down.
Advantage Courier.
And a surprise appearance at the net by Courier, taking Shelton a little by surprise.
Deuce.
And Shelton really keeping the ball nice and deep and finding the opportunity to move to the net when the ball is a little bit short with that lovely slice that keeps the ball a bit low. Best that Courier can do is to attempt the cross-court pass, but he's on it.
Advantage Shelton.
Now this is getting serious for Courier.
Yes, just waiting to see whether that was in. It was. Again, in behind the slice ball and the finishing volley. Courier finding problems with these slice approaches.
Deuce.
Too eager.
Advantage Shelton.
Oh, right at this minute, Shelton has got his measure.
And the bread and butter shots aren't working, are they? Those normally accurate passes. He looks just a little flustered against a man who's charging in whenever he can, saying, all right, pass me.
Deuce.
Well, this could be a very important turning point in the match. Twice he's had the break point, twice he's fluffed it. Set and a break, it looked pretty healthy.
Advantage Courier.
So there are the first serve percentages. 94% of Shelton's first serves have been winning points.
Cain
Service ace, and Courier holds on, but he'd lost the first set.
love.
An extremely wonderful serving performance from Shelton. This it really is against the world number 3, whose great forte is return of serve.
30 love.
Dear, oh dear. Can't find the court at all on those passes. That's a little bit more like it. Yes, just having a little bit of bad luck there with the net cord. Oh dear.
Deuce.
Well, it's the first really wild shot he's hit for some time. Played a very well contained match so far.
Advantage Courier.
Well, a string of unforced errors from Bryan Shelton, unaccountably, because he's been tremendously effective. That serve and volley.
Yes, a string of them. 21-14 overall.
Oh, great smash. That is from Shelton. Wasn't easy to get back for the second one.
And he knows, and Courier knows, that really the ball should have been killed on the first one. That was the most beautiful deep volley, and that was just so dangerous to have tapped the ball instead of killed it, instead of killing it. But how well he smashed it in the end.
Another fine overhead.
Advantage Shelton.
First. There's that first serve again. All Courier can do is block it back, and then he's on the losing end of the point all the way. And this is only the second game in which Shelton has faced break points. Game 4 of the match, he saved 4.
Deuce.
It's really quite astonishing to think the match has been in progress for, what, an hour and 20 minutes, and Courier still hasn't broken Shelton's serve.
Oh, maybe not the hard man any longer.
Advantage Courier.
Oh, it was the right tactic and a good effort. Just didn't quite make the shot. It's unfortunate, but it brings up a second break chance for Courier.
Game Courier.
And so
Courier
at last
leads
Courier does get a break. Meantime, on the outside courts, Mats Wilander playing Milan Velev of Bulgaria. Took the first set 6-1. Mats lost the second 6-4, but leads 5-love in the third. So getting back some of that old magic that saw him win a couple of Australian Open championships, both here at the National Tennis Centre and, of course, previously at Kooyong on grass. In the centre. Yes, nice touch, lovely touch.
Love of 10.
Courier hasn't really fathomed this fellow yet. There's the slice approach again, and lovely touch on the volley.
Love 30.
You expect to see Courier meting out the punishment those sort of rallies, but that time it was Shelton.
Beautiful approach shots. Shelton really is hitting with great depth. And Courier is in really serious strife. Just about to give this break up without so much as a whimper. Not yet, anyway.
Goodness, that was so nearly over. Trying for even the impossible, Shelton. I think many people wouldn't have bothered to chase this volley of Courier's. And Shelton not only chases it, he nearly makes a surprise winner of his own.
Oh, bad luck.
30-40.
And he's no doubt thinking also about the 2 break points he had on Courier in the first game of this set. 2 more gone now, 3rd in this game.
Deuce.
That looked a little more like the hard man we remember.
No, no, no.
Advantage Courier.
Just didn't put enough venom into the first volley. Needed to do a bit more with that. And when it came back, he wasn't equal to the task. Had to make an error eventually. Courier from love 40. Game point now for 3-love.
Game.
That's the way it is. Second set. 3 games to love, Courier.
Courier leads 3 games to love.
Oh, 15 love to Shelton. John Alexander's down in the stands. He's got sharp view cam in his fist, and he's with Brad Stein.
Well, things are looking a little bit better than they were after the first set, Brad.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little better now. I think it's been a tough match so far for Jim. It's tough to find a lot of rhythm against Bryan. He's serving big, and I think Jim was struggling a bit to get a feel on the return, but he seems to be doing a bit better now.
Do you think it's mainly been Bryan's very, very good form, or do you think Jim's a little off his game at the moment?
Well, I think Jim's maybe a little bit tentative. He's played a little bit tentative so far and given Bryan an opportunity to take the initiative. Bryan's playing quite a bit deeper off the ground and been able to find opportunities to attack, and that's what he wants to do. It makes Jim have to come up with the shots all the time.
And the factors in the second set that turned things around so far?
Well, I think Jim found a little bit better rhythm on that one game returning. You know, it's just one break so far. Hopefully he'll be able to hang on and even the match up at one set apiece, and we'll see what happens.
Do you think Bryan's tightening up, as many young players do when they've got the opportunity to beat a great player?
Well, I think that it's always difficult for the guys to play the top players on the first day on center court in the Grand Slams, but you know, just a matter of seeing if he can maintain that level. If he can keep it up, it's going to be a tough match for Jim.
And Jim's form now compared to this time last year?
Well, I don't remember his first round last year exactly. I think in comparison to the way he was playing last week, he's certainly off a bit from what he was at the Rio right now, and I think that's to be expected a bit for the first round matches. First rounds are always some of the toughest matches.
Okay, Brad, thanks so much for talking to us.
John Alexander there with sharp view cam and Brad Stein.
Well, probably at home you'll remember that it was Rodolphe Gilbert of France who Courier beat in the first round.
You must have a photographic memory, John Barrett.
But the trivia question is, which year? Just have a think about that at home.
Cain, Shelton.
So he's on the board in the second set.
Courier leads 3 games.
He's won the first set, and as Brad Stein indicated, you don't give a guy like Bryan Shelton too many second invitations. He doesn't need second invitations. You give him half a chance. He's in there, and Courier certainly does need to lift his game a little.
Love.
Well, if you puzzled it out at home, you're right. 1992 was the Gilbert win by Courier in the first round. And last year, you know who that was? Lars Jonsson of Sweden. Both in straight sets.
Love.
Beginning now to play himself into form, which is what I was meaning a little while ago, talking about those first round matches. All the seeded players find them a real problem. They want to get the first round behind them to feel fully involved.
Scintillating return from Bryan Shelton.
40-15.
It's one of the finest returns he's hit today. He moves in, gets his weight behind the ball, meets the ball on the rise, swings right through the path he wants the ball to follow.
Still not quite happy with his touch on the passing shots.
Deuce.
Yes, he's rushed Courier a lot on return of serve. He's done well there. And it won't work unless the reply is as deep as most of his have been. So there's an interesting one. The forced errors, fairly similar in number. And you wouldn't expect to see Courier force into error as often as that. It's the high quality of these approaches.
Advantage Courier.
Well, he goes in behind the slice again. Here it is. But there wasn't quite as much on the ball this time. Courier having plenty of time to decide how he was going to play his topspin pass.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
Deuce.
Not just the winner, but the return of serve.
Well, look at this from our low-angle camera. What a lovely blocked return, and not nearly enough on that approach from Courier, landing it far too short.
Advantage Courier.
Just allowing himself to be out-hustled by Courier.
Yes, it's a good point, this one, for Courier. There's the half-court ball inviting an approach to the net. Again, the Courier approach could have been a bit deeper, but a lovely wrong-footing volley.
Deuce.
Only one break of serve. That could disappear fast.
Advantage Courier.
Going for a bit much on the approach shot that time, Shelton.
Courier is really rather uptight, asking the crowd to keep quiet at the far end.
And it's hardly as if they were disrupting the play, or they've paid their money. They're entitled to barrack for whomsoever they please. And Courier, after a struggle, holds on at 4-1 second set, having lost the first.
Love 15. Love 30.
Some question there. I don't know. Both players propped right on the end of the point and questioned Dana Leconto for some reason, but the point went to Courier, and so Bryan Shelton finds himself down love 30 on serve and down 4-1 in this second set.
Love 40.
Well, what might have been for Bryan Shelton with all those opportunities early in this set, having already won the first set, he could have been riding high at the moment.
Game. Courier. Ball change. Courier leads 5 games to 1.
And a very decisive break, that one.
Seems to have lost his purpose a bit here, or lost his confidence. And you're absolutely right. It was those first 3 games of this set. He could have led 3-love very easily.
That's right, yes. Well, he had break points both the first and third games. And led on serve in the second, and then ultimately faltered and allowed Courier to break through.
New tennis balls.
Well, that's been part of the feature of his game today, his
Love
returns of serve and his approach shots, and he's not finished with yet, apparently.
No, it's beautifully met there with the 2-hand up, using the server's pace.
Ah! 15 all. $30-15. $40-15.
2 set points for Courier to level it up at 1-all.
$40-30.
Served, I think, 6 double faults. To 5 by Shelton. Service percentages in this second set. Gosh, look at the drop off for Shelton on point 1.
Game in second set. Courier. 6 games to 1.
Two extremely long sets of tennis, considering the scoreline.
Love 15.
I hope that's not a sign of things to come. His 6th double fault.
Club 30.
Showing signs now of beginning at last to read this man's serve. It's taken him quite a while.
Didn't read that one.
Fifth ace.
Maybe he just reads every second one. So 2 chances for Courier to jump out of the boxes quickly here. Beginning of the 3rd set. Goodness me. And alternately, another ace to make a total of 6 for Bryan Shelton.
Shelton must have heard me and wanted to prove me wrong. He's not reading these at all now. Right at the body. Courier making a real mess of that.
Advantage Courier.
You hear that exasperated sigh from Bryan Shelton. A mixed bag. Courier be looking for a forehand if he can get one on this second serve. Well, he displayed tremendous patience, Bryan Shelton.
And that deep ball there was the beginning of good things for Shelton. Finding the pass, going this time the other way.
Advantage Courier. Deuce.
That's number 8, number 7 rather.
It is an extraordinarily varied game, this, isn't it? Perfect placement there.
No, you've missed it.
Advantage Courier.
Well, he's made some great volleys in the match, but when he really needed one and had the court wide open. And that's the break to Courier at long last in this opening game of the third set. Set all 1-love, 15-love. Courier inexorably now getting on top of his less fancied opponent, Bryan Shelton. Well, Shelton's not going to give up. And he's not going to give up the game plan, which for a set and 3 games worked so well for him. Even though the 3 games in the second set didn't go his way. The first 3, I mean.
Good shot.
Was a good shot.
Change of pace there. Forced into error because he had to rush the shot. But you know, we've said it before, we'll say it again, and it's just one of the inexorable laws of this game. If you don't take your chances against the fancied players when you get them, then you usually pay a heavy price.
And they're the kinds of chances we're talking about. Ball was sitting there big as a moon.
And he missed such a one early in the first set. A real miss that was in the 4th game. And from the low angle, such an easy ball to have volleyed. At least to embarrass Courier and perhaps have another go at it. And really it should have been a winner.
They both served 7 double faults. And that brings up the breakback point for Shelton. bit of bad luck for him.
Yes, by so many millimetres as he lost points. Been one of those days.
There's another one. Just hang in there, Bryan, and keep swinging. Game point now for Courier. This would give him 2-love. Well, admirable forcing play there in that last rally. Well, the right tactics by Shelton.
A really big return of serve, and the depth on that first volley, admirable.
Advantage Shelton.
Now here is one of those chances we've been talking about. He's earned it. It was a forced error from Courier just now.
Game
Oh
Shelton.
dear, that's the break back double fault. Serving.
Love 15.
Yes, the double faults from this man, not altogether unexpected because of the ambition on the second serve. He figures that he gets enough good first balls in and good second ones in to win, to make that worthwhile.
It is a mixture.
(30-15).
Has a lot of support here, does his opponent. And I wonder what the defending champion thinks about that. Of course, they always like an underdog. Now that was a little bit of
30 all.
a little bit of genius there from Courier. The volley of Shelton volleyed past him from the baseline.
Oh, lovely volleys by Shelton. One of them came straight at him and he had to fend it off his body.
40-30.
Yes, look at that one again. Nicely struck off his tummy. And the height of that one making it possible for him to give it a real punch.
Oh, he did all the good work. And then crewelled it on the high backhand volley.
Yes, the shot in that rally was the lob from Courier. It was a marvellous shot, that towering lob. And that was the easy miss, but I think he thought probably that that smash from the baseline that he hit would have been a winner.
Bit of string, but still come up with the ace.
Advantage Shelton.
He's hit 9 of them.
Here's a lovely control of direction and pace. I don't suppose he'll be too perturbed about breaking that string. Probably at the change of ends he'll have it sent off to be restrung. There's a restringing service here. And
Thank you.
one of the stands.
They'll be busy the next fortnight.
Quite please.
And Shelton holds serve to lead 2-1 in the third set.
Shelton leads 2 games to 1.
Courtside here on centre, watching this match with interest, the new Davis Cup captain for the United States, Tom Gullickson, on sharp view cam with John Alexander.
Yes, it looks like I'm here with Pete Sampras's coach, Tim Gullickson, but no, I'm with the good-looking one. Congratulations on your appointment.
Well, thank you, Phil Dent. No, John Alexander. Thank you very much.
Your #1 man for your first match was in a bit of trouble, but his form seems to be coming good.
Yeah, he picked it up in the second set. I think Bryan got a little tight when he realized he had some chances to get up 2 sets with an early break in the second. And he's starting to play a lot more relaxed.
Tell me about the team that you've got in your first round and who you play.
Well, we've already picked our team. We've got Jim Courier and Todd Martin playing singles, and Richie Renenberg and Patrick McEnroe playing doubles, and we play India in India, and we're playing in New Delhi on a grass court at the end of March, which is the week right after the Lipton tournament.
Interesting. A year ago, Jim might not have thought grass was his best surface, but he had great success at Wimbledon.
Yeah, he played great at Wimbledon, and I think he realized after watching Agassi win Wimbledon in 1992 from the back of the court, basically, that you could hit a few ground strokes on the grass and then kind of go up to the net. So he did that very well last year, and he was very, very relaxed at Wimbledon. So he doesn't just choose to play golf on grass anymore.
One of the great secrets to Jim's success is his great physical condition. Can you tell me a little bit about his training and the reviewing of the training?
Well, Jim works probably as hard, if not harder, than anyone on the tour. And Jose Aguirre and Brad Stein, his two coaches, were training him out in Palm Springs in December, and his personal trainer Pat Etcheberry, who also trained Sampras as well as many of the other top players, actually went out to Palm Springs with Jose and Brad, and they kind of readjusted Jim's training schedule because, last year, as is pretty well documented, Jim kind of burned out at the end of last year. But they readjusted his training, and I think he's very eager and he's very fit, and I think he's going to have a great year this year.
And to give us some idea of how thoroughly Jim studies what has happened, you found out that he'd only won some 2 events after Wimbledon for the last 3 years.
Right. Yeah, well, his whole career, I don't know exactly how many titles he has, but I know he's only won 2 career titles after Wimbledon. He's been a great player in the first 6 months of the year, and in the last 6 months of the year, he kind of loses it a little bit. So I think they tried to readjust his training so he could be more consistent throughout the whole year.
Well, he certainly has been great at the Ford Australian Open the last year, and I hope that he's great for you in Davis Cup, except when you play against Australia.
Well, thank you, Jay. Thank you very much.
Tom Gullickson on sharp view cam with John Alexander, and Jim Courier, in fact, has won 14 singles titles, just to answer Gully's question. 10 of them in the last 2 years, 92 and 93, 5 each year. And as Tom observed, he's only ever won a total of 2 of those 14 after Wimbledon. So he really puts in a huge effort first half of the year and just runs himself into the ground. So they've revised his training and I guess his playing schedule just a little. Be interesting to see how it works out. 2 games all here. Bryan Shelton serving. 1 set all, 2 all.
15 left.
And with that ace into double figures. Just 2 from Courier.
Goran Ivanisevic and Michael Stick will be coming in here to take lessons shortly. Well, Courier was about to walk, thinking that it was a double fault, but they've credited Shelton with a second service ace.
Can he make it 4 in a row?
Well, he still can. He'll be buying the drinks tonight. Oh, he had a good try.
Imagine, though, how difficult it is to get rhythm against this sort of person.
Tonight's draw, don't forget, play continues here at the National Tennis Centre and on 7. Josh Eagle of Australia against Pete Sampras, the world #1, and Jenny Byrne takes on Helena Sukova. Well, no excuse there because he's got back to the sun.
Yes, it was a very good vertical lob. I mean, it came down almost straight. If you look at this again, plenty of height here. And I think he would have been wiser to let that bounce, actually. They're the toughest of all. Yes, the unforced error is mounting. At one stage,
They were about level, weren't they?
yes, there were about 2 in it earlier in the match.
Good serve, volley. And that's the game. 3 games to 2. Shelton ahead, third set.
Shelton leads 3 games to 2.
Jim Courier, ranked 3 in the world at the moment, looking to be #1 again.
15 love.
But he's going to have to play some terrific tennis and win some big ones to take that title away from Pete Sampras.
Yes, that's absolutely right. I mean, Sampras in the final in New South Wales last week looked very, very impressive. Oh, that's another one on the second serve.
15 love.
Well, that's the second time he's lost a point with a foot fault. And the last time he gave the linesman a real glare, but there it is. There's nothing the linesman can do if he touches the line or the court beyond it before he struck
Which
the ball.
foot
well.
he's saying? To the left, says the linesman, indicating.
Has to be the left foot.
Yeah.
A lot of players don't realize that they turn just a little bit as the motion of the serve unfolds. And incidentally, there's no obligation on the part of the linesman ever to warn a player.
Out. 30-15.
Maybe we could lend the foot fault judge our sharp view cam. Then we'd really get a bird's eye view.
Well, I'd like to see the old foot fault rule reintroduced, as a matter of fact. There's the chap who's making those judgments.
40-15.
There's a lot of talk, you know, within the game about whether or not the foot fault rule should be introduced. I would like to see it. And perhaps we could start that debate going.
So explain, what was the old rule?
You had to have 1 foot on the ground. You weren't allowed to jump before the ball was struck. That was 1959 that came in.
Wouldn't that also go some way toward stemming another rising tide of complaint about the speed of the game, slowing it down?
Well, this is the whole point of reintroducing it. Reintroducing the rule. And before that, 3 years before that, in 56, they changed the rule. Before 56, you had to have both feet behind the line before the ball was struck, as well as having 1 foot on the ground. You couldn't cross that line. The swinging rule, we called it, that was changed in 56, and in 59 you were allowed to jump.
Game. Courier. 3 games left.
Courier doing a good workmanlike job here against a man who's run hot and cold today and had many, many chances. He could be well ahead if he'd taken all his chances. Good Shelton.
Just catching the line. Yes, who's to say that he mightn't have been up 2 sets to love if he'd taken those early chances in the second set.
And when he did lose those 2 service games in that set, it seemed to sort of puncture his confidence. He did well, therefore, to break back in the second game of this set, having lost his serve in the first. Gets down beautifully for this volley as he comes in behind his serve. Slight miss hit on the return. And a good punch to an angle.
Quiet, please.
There's a cry of agony from the linesman, I think. Bad luck again for Shelton.
Because you can see why he does well on grass, can't you? The 2 tournaments he's won at Newport, Rhode Island, both victories coming with this serve and volley technique.
Bryan Shelton is from Atlanta, Georgia. Father served a long career as a professional soldier in the United States Army.
James Shelton.
And Shelton leads by 4 games to 3 in this third set.
Shelton leads 4 games to 3.
But if you were a bookmaker and you had a chance to reassess the odds at this point in the match, you wouldn't be betting the long prices that you had done before the start of play about Bryan Shelton. Courier would still be the favourite if you could bet now, there's no doubt about that. But a little easy in the market.
That's been the way he's embarrassed Courier so often today with those early taken returns, blocked back deep. And Courier showing us the old 1-2, the combination play, pulling the man out of position with the lobers. Shelton comes in with that low slice ball, and then the winning forehand. So the percentages in this set, Courier doing rather better now than Shelton when the first ball goes in, and he's getting more in. At one stage, Shelton was 95% of first serves going in, he was winning.
40-15.
9 double faults. 10 double faults for Courier.
Rather a worrying number, that. Two of those foot fault double faults.
Game, Courier, ball change.
So Courier 4-all, but he knows he's got a lot of work to do in the next fortnight, and he knows what he's playing for. Warren Sim explains that. Bryan Shelton figures he's got some say in that. Set all, 4-all. After 2.5 hours of play.
Change of balls.
Oh, another overhead missed.
Love 15.
If you put this man on a practice court and toss him a lob like that, he'd smashed a winner practically every time, and a lot of those unforced errors have come in the latter part of this match.
Up 30.
Courier trying to sort of liven himself up, doing little jog steps between points.
That's one that actually got over the net for Shelton.
30
And a quite astonishing shot this from our low angle camera. You'll see it again, considering that he's love 30 down. What lovely control of the ball with that half volley drop shot.
30-40.
So the switchback takes another dip. Double faults he served, Shelton, to 10 from Courier.
Deuce.
It's an extraordinary match, this.
Yes, 13 aces now. Mind you, 2 more double faults will cancel all of those out.
Advantage Curry. Deuce. Advantage Curry. Deuce. Advantage, Shelton. Deuce.
Another double fault. Good God. 12.
Was it 12?
Yep.
Believe it or not, we're in the same game here still on centre court. 4 games all. Shelton serving.
Advantage, Shelton.
He's been down break points. He served another double fault. That makes an even dozen. But he's got game point once more. No wonder it's hard for Courier to find his rhythm against this guy. You can't pick what's going to happen next.
For serve.
Oh,
Deuce.
tried hard for a second service ace down the centre and just missed it. So he served 13 aces and 13 double faults now.
White lays. Advantage, Courier.
Yes, now that is the typical Courier rally, the thumping return of serve, forcing the half volley. You'll see that from the low angle camera. The half volley there, purely defensive, the 3/4 length ball with no pace on it. And you can choose which way to go. But this man has made life much more difficult for most of this match than that last point.
For serve. Deuce.
What a second serve.
We had one game earlier in the match that lasted 10 minutes. This is running longer.
6 deuces. And it is now the longest game in the match.
Advantage, Shelton.
And remember, it's set all and 4 all, no time to take silly risks. So he was very confident to play such a shot.
Game. Shelton.
Well, at long last, Shelton ahead 5-4 in the third. 4-5, third set, 1 set all.
$15.
And yet another of those millimetre decisions against him. This time the net responsible.
Well, you've got to give full credit to Bryan Shelton. I mean, against 99 out of 100 other players, Courier would have been pretty certain he'd hit the winner there. Checking some outside court results, Ivan Lendl against Greg Rusedski of Canada, straight sets. Christo van Rensburg had a 5-setter but lost it to Simeon of the Netherlands, 6-1 in the 5th. Maritza Grossi down to Sandrine Testud, 6-1, 6-3. Oh, the girl that won in Tasmania, Endo, the Japanese girl, defeated Mon Ami from Belgium in straight set, 6-4, 6-3. So the Japanese girls having a big tour down here in Australia.
Well, they were going in the early part of this match. Lovely blocked return of serve, using the server's pace so that he can get himself into the net.
And that was a French player, by the way, Stéphane Simeon, that defeated Christo van Rensburg. That on court 3, 5 sets, tough one for Christo.
Game. Correct.
5 games all.
Well, here's the test for Shelton now, because it's going to be a long match regardless. We've been in play now for some 2 hours 50 minutes, and so a 2-1 lead is going to be very important.
Yes, 3 hours basically for 3 sets of tennis. That's a long time out there. Both these players, they're very deliberate, very methodical. Both like to play the game at this pace.
Another of those heavy second serves, the gambler's serve. Cost him 13 double faults, that tactic, but generally speaking, I think it's kept Courier off balance.
30-15.
Brian's father, I mentioned, was in the United States Army. I'm not sure if he was an officer. I know he was a gentleman. I'm not quite sure what rank he achieved, in fact, but I imagine he would have been one of those tough master gunnery sergeants, a drill sergeant.
Direct hit.
Gets danger money, that guy on the centre line. You can't see from here, he's got one black eye. It's a big serving game.
40-15.
And a big game.
Just a little aside there. Did you see it? To Lecanto, if he had thought it had been an error, the overrule would have had to have been immediate.
$40-30. Shelton.
Won't be denied. 6-5. And that man hitting the winner, Bryan Shelton, and getting the first vital point on Courier's serve here at 5-6 in the third set. Miscued altogether.
15.
Anxious moments.
For serve.
Yes, he dropped that far too short, allowing Courier the luxury of a simple approach.
Well, it's only his third ace, but could not have come at a better time for him.
40-30.
This is the tactic that's won him so many points. The aggressive return of serve, there it is, and to such a good length. Courier could only pop it up and Shelton fast in. Great tactics. Oh, it's another one.
That's one. That's three now. Two from this end, one from the other, and a different lines person. So we can't point an accusing finger at any one person. They've got him fair and square, Courier.
Thank you.
Fortunately for him, it wasn't on a second serve this time. Or it was, rather, for the third time.
Lucky it wasn't a break point, because it would be set point.
Advantage Courier.
Just slightly rushed. So eager was he to get to the net and force Courier, who must be rattled, even though he's not showing it. He's keeping a very calm exterior here. But I'm sure there's turmoil within.
Again, Courier. 6 games all, tiebreaker.
Courier doing his little dance at the end of the court there, trying to gee himself up.
Bryan Shelton first in the tiebreak.
Thank you. Ready for play.
Well, the crowd erupts. He's got a lot of fans, a lot of supporters here at Bryan Shelton. 14 aces now for him.
That rather puts the pressure on Mr. Courier.
That certainly does.
2-0, Shelton.
Yes, it was the return of serve. Forced him into error, knocked him back, rocked him back on his heels.
Thank you. Two, 1, Shelton.
It would be foolish to try and suggest that merely 1 point ahead would be enough, the mini break, because his serving has been so erratic. Let's hope for his sake he can stay calm and collected. Clever.
Yes.
Didn't go for too much, but
3-1,
was determined to get that first ball in.
Most of his big first serves too have been down the middle, and that time going out wide.
4-1.
Takes the tally to 15 aces, 4 points to 1.
I think he's really got this crowd here so excited.
White and lace.
That is out.
Well, he's rattled Courier
5-1. Shelton.
by some very positive and clever tennis.
Well, this
6-1.
plays right into Shelton's hands. 2 serves to come, 5 set points. He's going to be pretty hard to deny from here.
Well, you don't learn anything looking at Courier's face, but he has to be rattled.
Thank you. Thank you. White and lace.
Premature outburst from the Shelton supporters.
Shelton.
Well, full marks to Courier, keeping that so low.
That's 1 point back for Courier. But still 4 set points.
Thank you.
For Bryan Shelton. 28 years old, he's no novice, he's been around for quite a while.
Shelton.
Well, importantly for Courier, back on his serve. Still got to survive, though. Got to hold these next 2.
Did well here to make him play an awkward volley. Daren't, of course, go for too much. Set points down. He had to play with a good margin of error.
White and lace.
So even if he holds these 2 points, Courier, he's still going to be down a set point. Well, it was the forehand on which he's made so many errors. Courier that finally forced the point on that occasion. 6 points to 4. Still
White and lace.
2 set points for Shelton. There's any attacks. 2 sets to 1. Shelton leads the defending champion, Jim Courier.
7 games to 6. Love 15. 15 all. (30-15).
And Matt's downstairs doing the interview and not watching the course of the match up here because rating Jim Courier one of his top picks for the tournament. Well, everybody would. But, everybody but Bryan Shelton.
Yes, this has been a bit of a shock, this first meeting against the American.
40-15, Courier serving first game, fourth set.
Game Courier. First game,
serve.
fourth set.
And I think he's won over a great number of supporters today against the defending champion. A lot of "come on Bryans" being shouted. Mostly young voices. Just the pace beating him. And you know, it wouldn't have been impossible for Shelton to have won the second set as well as the first. The first three games of that set hotly disputed, game points to both men. He eventually lost it. And from our low angle camera there, a good wrong footing drive from the miss-hit return of serve. Oh, can you believe it? A second serve.
40-15.
Well, he's come out here today determined that he was going to serve that second ball flat out, and it's cost him a lot of double faults, 14 in all. But my goodness, it's upset Courier. You generally think on a second serve you've got a good chance. No percentages at all, no. Well,
no percentage tennis from Shelton. From Courier's viewpoint, it's all blind guesswork.
40-30.
It's so awful to play somebody like this because you never know what's coming next.
And Courier, above all, is the grafting percentage player. That's how he wins his matches. Relies on the pattern, relies on the routine.
Game, Shelton. One game over.
It is an impressive performance, this, in all ways, really. The 99th player in the world meeting the number 3 for the first time and embarrassing him. Taking risks.
From the outside courts, Paul Haarhuis, the Netherlands, comfortable winner. He was a finalist in Qatar recently over David Nankin, straight sets. Also Santoro over Polyakov in straight sets. And in women's singles, I won't even attempt to pronounce it, but she beat Robin White. Made a lot of errors on the forehand, Courier.
Going for the big return on all occasions. Surprised, I think, by the depth of Shelton's drive there, forcing the error.
Game, Courier.
2 games to 1 in the 4th set. Courier with a lot of work to do.
Courier leads 2 games to 1. Second serve. love 15.
Shelton's double faults and aces running neck and neck. 16 of each.
Love 30.
Now, will he be able to get out of this one? There was one break of serve each at the start of the previous set, and then Shelton had that terrible scare in the 9th game. And there were 4 break points against him, but he held firm then.
Love 40. Again, Courier, ball change.
3 games to 1 in favour
Courier
of
leads, 3
Jim
games to
Courier. And whilst this match has had a lot of people glued to the centre court, as Warren Sim discovered, there are plenty of other things to do to occupy your time here at the National Tennis Centre. Three-1, Courier serving. 4th set, trailing 2 sets to 1.
15 love.
Yes, I think a change has just come over this match. There was a sign of lost concentration in Shelton's last service game. It was the first really weak game he played. Well, I don't know whether Shelton is wilting. He's not wearing a hat. Courier has been wearing that cap from the start, and I would have thought in this strong sunlight that it would have been wise to protect yourself. Second change of racket for Shelton.
Now, Courier's only hit, not surprisingly for him, 7 winners from inside the service line in the match, to 32 at the net from Shelton. Mind you, Courier's only missed 2 volleys from inside the service line. Shelton's missed 36. He spent a lot more time there, as you can see.
Yes. Trying to force the pace all the time.
Game, Courier.
Yes, and the tide's
Courier
turning
leads
swiftly in this
4
fourth
games to
set
1.
in favour of Jim Courier, 4-1.
A lot of hard work ahead for
Quiet
Shelton
please.
now to pull this match round, because he's let the initiative go to Courier.
Love 15.
And he's lost the last 10 points, and I use the word advisedly because most of them have been errors.
That's a sensational point. Best point of the match.
Certainly one of the best points we've seen. Beautifully dealt with that difficult lob, and Courier did so well to flight that ball low. And I don't think many people thought he'd get that, but Shelton, alive to the danger, lunging to his side, hits the winning volley. What a lovely point.
(30-15).
So the errors, set by set, that 28 from Shelton in the third.
Out!
40-15.
That was because he was taking risks, but he won that set on the tiebreak. I think he realised coming on here today he'd have to take risks to stand a chance of beating Courier, and he was prepared to lose quite a lot of points that way.
Game, Shelton. Courier leads 4 games to 2.
Well, now he's just one break down.
Well, it was never going to be a chance by playing it cautious, was he? So he's adopted the right attitude coming into the match, provided enormous entertainment by doing so.
And it seems now he has regrouped mentally. He had that little lapse. What a late call.
Love 15.
Same here.
15-30.
So bemusing this for Courier, because there was no right really in that shot. It was a real gambler's play, and it worked.
Thank you.
So here is Courier trying to play rational tennis, and he's not being allowed to.
30.
I thought you were going to say rational tennis against an irrational opponent. Attendance figures for the opening day session of the Ford Australian Open just come to hand. 17,802 people. Fantastic opening day crowd. And of course we've got a night session to come. Ooh. Where's the call? Gee, I thought it was out too.
30.
Well, the lineswoman on that line, I think it's a lady,
It is.
signaled down immediately. Palms down is the approved signal. And here it comes.
Quiet please.
Oh, I thought it was distinctly long.
I thought that his foot seemed to be between her and the bounce, and I thought she might say unsightly, but she didn't.
Courier holds serve and leads 5-2 in the
Courier
fourth.
leads 5 games to 2.
Well, I thought he'd outsmarted himself, Shelton, with the angle, because Courier made the play, and then Shelton's hit a backhander
Love 15.
that left the court open.
Well, here is the shot of the match. Unfortunately, didn't win him the point. Courier alive to the danger. Here it is. And again, Courier alert.
Love 30.
And we will be staying with this match right up to news time.
Love 40.
3 set points here for Courier. That would level it up at 2 sets all.
Well, here is one of those rasping double-handers that he's hit so many of today. But it's still set point. Two saved, 1 to go.
Deuce.
And as he did in the key moment in the tiebreak, Shelton throwing in a much softer serve, making sure that the first one goes in so that he's in command of the rally and knocking off this overhead as if it was 15-all in the first game of the match.
Advantage Courier.
He does know how to mix it up.
Well, he's lived dangerously since the first game of this match. That's 17 double faults now and a 4th set point.
Game. 4th
Two
set.
sets all,
Courier.
and the momentum
6 games to 2.
definitely swinging to Jim Courier now as we move into a 5th set decider.
2 sets all.
3 hours and 48 minutes and more to come.
Quiet
Network
plays.
viewers.
Final set.
We will be staying on with this match, certainly
Quiet plays.
up to news time.
The 5th set.
15 long.
When I say news time, I'm talking 6 o'clock Eastern Summer Time. Some states may stay longer.
15
It'll depend on the course of the match. And the course has been pretty rocky and uneven so far. Aussies in action here, opening day of the Australian Open Championship today. Good wins for Nicole Provis, for Jason Stoltenberg, and for Brent Larkham from the ACT. He doesn't know where to lie down, this guy.
15-30.
Well, that's how he's embarrassed Courier all day, with these big shots. That from mid-court, but he's done so well with them. He's made a lot of unforced errors in doing it, but it's paid dividends.
15-40.
And it's paid dividends because it has unsettled Courier. He doesn't know what's coming next.
Quiet please. Quiet please.
Well, that's how he's embarrassed Courier so often, with that early taken return of serve deep to sit astride the net. Just rushed that last one a bit.
Again,
Shelton makes the break and leads 1-love in the 5th.
Easy.
$15.
It's been a very impressive tactical performance, this. Not doing too much with the first volley, or with that one, just playing for position. And he's got it. And you'd reckon on him winning a volleying rally with Courier, not the world's greatest volleyer.
Brian's been a bit shaky on 1 or 2 himself.
Oh, yes.
But for every mistake he's made, he's hit a winner.
$15.30.
Still so many of those foolish people in the crowd who insist on whistling after the bleep. Well, from the low angle, a lovely example of moving in fast to make your volley. His nose hanging over the net when he made it. What a lovely serve. And I can't recall a match when Courier has been playing a lowly ranked man, he's 99, Shelton, when he hasn't really been able to collar the serve.
$30-40.
Well, you talked about choking occasionally. There was one.
Well, he's going to throw the advantage away here.
Because Courier knows that Shelton, never having played him before, probably half felt that it was going to be a task beyond him, hoping that he would do himself justice and perhaps snatch a win. But when the chance is there, it's difficult to take it. Well played. Well, this is what he meant to do on the last one. An easy volley because the serve was so good again. A high reply.
First serve.
Well, Shelton's got this uncanny ability to make us look exactly the same way that he makes Jim Courier feel. You pay out on him 1 minute and then he comes out and does something absolutely brilliant on the next point.
Advantage, Shelton.
That's 17 aces for Bryan Shelton.
Wonderfully struck.
Thank you.
And inside the line even.
What? It is.
Well, it looks so easy, doesn't it, from here? But it's the situation that's difficult, not the volley.
I mentioned the Aussie winners today: Nicole Provis, Jason Stoltenberg, Brent Larkham, and out on court 5, Michael Tebbett, taking the first set from Jonas Svensson. 7-5. Last I looked was leading 2-1 in the second. Another good performance.
Advantage Shelton.
Aussies on the wrong side of the ledger today have been Nicole Pratt, Kerry-Anne Goose, Andrew Kratzmann, Mark Philippoussis. This point for a 2-love lead in the 5th set.
Well played.
Game Shelton.
Well, that was a
Shelton
triumph.
loses. 2 games to love.
A triumph for Shelton, really, because he was wavering. He knows he's a break-up against the world number 3, the defending champion. And the nerves start to play their part. But in the end, he held firm. Well done.
Love.
The only time Courier really has seen his opponent falter today was in the 4th game of the 4th set. And for a period of 3 games, Shelton had shut off mentally. He played 3 poor games.
30 love.
And I think this crowd smell an upset here. They're certainly being very supportive of Shelton.
No.
40-15.
How long since the defending champion was beaten in the first round of an Australian Open?
Well, I think we'd have to search through the record books for that one.
Wide plays. Game Courier. Shelton
Courier
loses 2
a little
games to
relieved
1.
to get on the board, but Shelton still has the break at 2-1. It's called an ace, and Courier says no, it was long, long, long.
Well, there was no bleep, and it certainly wasn't beyond the bleep.
Don't forget tonight, play continues here, National Tennis Centre, and of course exclusive to 7. Defending the world's number 1, not the defending champ, the world's number 1, Pete Sampras against Josh Eagle, and Jenny Byrne plays Helena Sukova. The defending champ is down here, fighting for his life at the moment.
feels inspired now.
30 love.
You won't see much better a return of serve than that. Beautifully faded and controlled deep to the corner. Reminds me of the great Frank Sedgman years ago. Sedgman, one of the best volleyers from mid-court I've ever seen.
No, he lifted that one up and just put it long.
But still going for his shots, to his credit. Don't change the winning formula. Amazingly cool here, Shelton, because Courier did so well to get that back, but the reply from Shelton is so deep that Courier just doesn't have the time to swing properly and misses his pass. 40-15 for a 3-1 lead.
What?
It's an ace for the game.
Shelton leads 3-1.
So look at this for a serve. Pinpoint accuracy again, ace number 19. It all depends now about his state of mind and his confidence.
Ready for play.
It's not that hot today, so both men are going to be fit enough.
Love 15.
Well, we raised the question about who was the last defending champion to lose in the first round, and much as I hate to say it, John Barrett, I'm not often wrong, but I'm right again. Roscoe Tanner, 1977, when they played 2 Opens in the 1 year.
And small wonder that he's rattled.
Love 30.
And everybody in the Flinders Park complex, whether they're at the centre court itself or down in the locker rooms, in the hallways, standing, looking, watching what could be a huge upset in the making here. Yes, because of a change of dates, they played 2 Opens in '77, in January and then in December. Roscoe Tanner won that January title and came back and was bundled out in the opening round later in the year. And now love 40 for Jim Courier.
And he's a rattled man again. He showed signs of that in the opening set.
Already down a break here in the 5th. 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Out. 15-40.
Take nothing away from Bryan Shelton. He's still going for everything.
Yes, that's right on the line.
30, 40.
Shelton willing it out, but
By such small margins, a match is won and lost. If that had been out and 2 breaks down, well, what a long way back. It might still be 2 breaks. It's break point still.
This.
well, Shelton knows that he's had the champion on toast at love 40.
Awkward time of day this for both of them, with the shadow creeping across.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not make calls from the stands. Thank you. Advantage Courier.
And small wonder. "14 double faults from Courier, giving Shelton still hope that he might yet achieve a second service break.
Advantage Courier.
That's the first display of emotion of any kind from Bryan Shelton in 4 1/4 hours of tennis.
Game Courier. Ball change.
So Courier hanging in, but it's a fairly tenuous grip.
Shelton leads 3 games to 2.
Two matches only completed so far on centre court today. Steffi Graf in a very quick one against Kimberly Poe, who had to forfeit with injury. Graf leading 6-1, 2-love at the time, and then Goran Ivanisevic, comprehensive winner over O'Brien from the United States. Alex O'Brien, 6-4, 6-love, 6-2. He's not going to falter, this man. I had that feeling.
Still an awful long way to go. Only 3-2 in the final set. 30-love now. Well, we'll play it.
Play continues here tonight. 2 great matches. World #1 Pete Sampras against the young Aussie Joshua Eagle, and Jenny Byrne of Australia against Aryna Sabalenka. Viewers through Sydney and Melbourne will be leaving our coverage in just a few moments. Draw for the centre court here tomorrow, second day of play. What a great lineup this is. Wally Mercer against Alexander Volkov, Conchita Martinez against Natalia Zvereva, and Malabai Washington against the #2 seed in the men's draw, Michael Stick. And in tomorrow night's session here at the National Tennis Centre, Mary Pierce, who played such a dramatic match against Gabriela Sabatini last year, meets Natalia Baldoni of France, of Italy rather, and Richard Fromberg of Australia against Patrick McEnroe of the USA. Break back point here for Jim Courier.
Courier. 3 games all.
So a double fault, the 20th, I think, for Bryan Shelton.
19th, in fact, but really 2 in that game, 18 and 19. From 30 love, just getting a little bit over eager. So Courier is back in business. It's 3 games all.
Thank you. Quiet on this.
But he's not yet out of this rather dark wood. It's the wrong shot, the drop shot.
15 love.
You know one thing, Courier is going to play this and the next game like they were the last 2 games of his career. Important for him to hold serve here comprehensively and then really mount as much pressure as he can muster.
And Courier the aggressor now.
Oh, what a point. That is a phenomenal point. And with the big overhead there, I thought he was going to try and hit it on the fly. And he's missed a couple of those, but this time wisely let it bounce.
An absolutely marvellous rally. Here's the smash. Never did he, for 1 second, hold back. And then the easy one for the winner. Only the 6th ace from this man, who hasn't really served today as well as he normally does.
Game, Courier.
4 games to 3. The champ
Courier
has his
leads
nose
4
in
games
front.
to 3. 15 love. $30 left.
Well, apart from the lapses, particularly in the last service game with those 2 double faults, it has been a marvellous exhibition of serving today. Did well here, to control that little half volley, and then read the attempted cross-court pass so well. A good teaching point to be made by that last one. Looking at it from our low-angle camera, when he goes in there, he has to decide which way the passing shots go and move one way or the other. What he mustn't do is stand still. He guessed wrong that time.
Game, Shelton.
So 4 all, and not a split inch between the two.
4 games on.
Meantime, out on court 5, Michael Tebbett of Australia against Jonas Svensson. Tebbett won the first set, 7 games to 5, and lost it. Very tight second set in a tiebreak, 7-6. The tiebreak score in Svensson's favour, 7 points to 4. But the young Aussie doing well, a set all against the much more experienced Jonas Svensson. Here on centre, it's a thriller. 4 all. First man to falter is dead.
And all afternoon long, Courier has been charging to the corners, forced to by the power of this man's returns and drives. $15
30-15.
Courier seems to have settled into a better rhythm on serve of late, forced to. It's a department of the game that really wasn't going too well.
Yeah, that's more like it from Courier.
40-15.
Controlling play from the back of the court.
Wait, please.
Still taking risks. And this time pulling it off brilliantly.
Wow. That'll give Courier just a little bit more to think about. 4-all and deuce. 2 sets all.
Advantage Courier.
Immensely relieved Courier. My goodness, what danger.
Well, it was a critical miss for Shelton because he was there for the backhand volley. Had plenty of room to move, plenty of court to play into. Look at those unforced errors. But then have a look at the number of winners that he's hit. You'll understand why. He's been the attacking player, Bryan Shelton.
It's a clever mixture. What an impressive performance. Swapping the heavy drives and then changing the pace.
Well, I'd say it's the performance of a top 20 player, not a 99 ranked player.
Thank you.
And in moments like this, up to last June, when he lost in the final of the French, you'd have put your house on Courier in this situation. But now I'm not so sure.
Advantage Courier.
Courier really getting uptight. He knows that he's living so dangerously. So we're going to change over with Courier ahead 5-4 in the deciding set.
Courier leads 5 games to 4.
Piece of jewelry come adrift.
Well, what a symbolic moment for that to happen. Serving to stay alive in this match when at 2-love in the final set and 3-1, it looked as if he might bring about the most sensational victory.
I hope it wasn't his good luck charm. Courier draws first blood in this game. Love 15.
Love 30.
Courier at last finding the return of serve, which for most of the afternoon has eluded him.
Thank you.
So finally, 4 hours and 39 minutes of struggle. And Jim Courier is poised to win through this opening round. And would probably collapse to his knees in relief. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Bryan Shelton, 4-5, love 40.
A wonderful first smash here from a high return of serve and then the easy kill, but the first one took a lot of courage, that. Can you believe it? And that serve reminds me of the serve that Goran Ivanisevic delivered when he was match point down on the centre court at Wimbledon this year in his first match against Chris Bailey. Second match. 2 saved. A second service ace.
He's hit several of them off the second serve. He'd dearly love to hit another one off the first serve, and they're still glued to our Channel 7 coverage downstairs. Oh, no. He's down, and he's out, I'm afraid.
4-6, 6-1, 6-7, 6-2, 6-4.